page that says share, and then you can share it to other pages and different things.
Yeah.
Hey, Marco.
You need me? You need me?
You're live.
Okay. All right. Welcome to Teens with Dreams. We are working on it. We're a hot mess today, aren't we? Welcome to Teens with Dreams. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Panting of Mr. Panting Productions, Teens with Dreams.
Hi, everyone. Happy New Year's. And I want to welcome you guys to Hamilton Radio. Shout out to my sponsor, The Jerry Petito Show. I would like to also introduce my guest, Nate Jr.
Hey, what's going on, everybody?
You want to speak a little bit about what you do and stuff?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm an educator at heart. I consider myself a youth advocate, mental health advocate. I'm a public speaker or professional speaker, I like to say. I'm a published author and just all around good guy and change agent for my community and others.
Next one.
I'm Crystal Guevara, here supporting Humanity Bands with my sister.
Jamie Pizarro.
I'd like to talk a little bit about what you do.
Our company is recently established, fairly new. It's a new social media network promoting, connecting through kindness, through actual human interaction. And we'll go into more detail a little bit later on exactly what we do.
Yeah, I'm excited to hear about that.
Next.
Oh, hi, I'm Polixeni Katsaros. I'm a physical therapist. I also am a published author of the book Posture Simply, Posture Correct Simply. And I'm really happy to be on the show. Thank you.
You're welcome. Next.
I am, excuse me, I'm Diane Mativier. I'm a financial advisor, also an author and poet, and also developer of Giving Peace, Legacy of Love, Matt's Heart Quest. And this is my son Matthew with me. Thank you for having us.
You, next.
Matthew Mativier. Matt's Heart Quest, inspiring to pass on to others and the importance of the impact of one.
That's fun.
Hi, I'm Ava Holly. 4A-Star, the number 4astar.com is how you can find me. We are an umbrella company over the entertainment industry, and we work with indie authors. I also am an author and poet and work with indie artists and also manage Mr. Painting Productions now, so that's kind of cool. Yeah.
That's cool. So, yeah, I wanted to share a Bible verse for everyone that I had. If I can find it.
You usually do that at the end, don't you?
And
At the beginning.
Yes.
All righty. It's a new year. Woohoo.
Yeah, Happy New Year, everyone.
Yeah, I'm looking
Happy New
forward.
Year.
2020, man. I couldn't wait to get rid of 2019.
2019 was rough for everyone.
Yeah, really rough. Yeah, hoping it's a better new year.
Well,
That's pretty
Diane
good for
said
me.
clear vision
The
2020.
clear vision,
Forward with
yep.
2020,
2020
clear
with the
vision.
clear vision, yep.
Yep.
I would like to share with you guys one Bible verse. It starts like, don't let anyone look down on you because you are young, but set an example for the believers in speech and conduct and love and faith and purity.
Nice.
Nice.
So, Marco, we gotta tell your audience that even though your show is Teens with Dreams, you have teens and young people like Matthew on your show, but you also have people that inspire teens and inspire children like Polixeni with her book and blah, 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 and you guys can't wait to hear about what all you guys are all doing.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Nate. I know you was in Pleasantville High School the other day.
Yeah, absolutely.
I was gonna go and I could not get there on time, so I did not go.
Okay.
But I would like you to talk about that a little bit.
You mean when I was there on my
Yeah.
birthday or prior?
For it was for the community. Remember, it was like
Oh, for the walk.
no the forgot the name it was for the board. I think it was for the board.
Oh, okay. Yeah, for
Board, yeah, I was gonna
the.
go and I didn't get there on time.
Yeah. Me and my business partner Les, we were there for the board meeting to propose our program, our curriculum program.
What's that?
So it's a program that bases on different things like leadership, mental health, a lot of different tools for the kids to get that they aren't necessarily getting within school, that they don't teach, during the hours of school. So we were coming in to provide that.
Like an
And-
after-school program type thing?
Well, it can be after school. It can be during school. We prefer to have it during the hours of school, coming in for an hour or so, because after school, a lot of kids are looking to leave. They're not really paying attention, but if we can catch them midday, then we can infuse what we're teaching into the curriculum that they already have. They're coming in, they're learning about math, history, science, and things like that. But the other skills that they're missing, their social emotional skills and things like that, they need to learn, that are super important once you get out of high school, and even while you're in high school, that are super important to learn. So we were coming in to propose that, and that all stemmed from us doing this program at multiple schools and then doing things at multiple universities as well. We wanted to come back home and provide that program to our own community. So that was us proposing that, and we're still in the process of getting that approved.
What's the name of it?
So it's called Never Quit. So I myself, I have a company called Building Muscle LLC, where I do consulting, speaking, also writing and things like that, all based around mental health, social emotional skills, adverse childhood experiences, teaching those different things. And then my partner over there, we have Never Quit and Associates, which is the branding aspect of everything, the management aspect of multiple different companies and entities with under that. And we were coming in with the Never Quit proposal to bring in all of our resources, all of our people to come in and teach different skills on different avenues. We have a female aspect that are teaching, young women about certain things that aren't necessarily taught in school, as well as me with mental health, my partner with branding, just a bunch of different things under that umbrella. And that's essentially what the program is in a nutshell.
That's great. That sounds great.
Does
I think
sound
it's really good
wonderful.
'cause I went to Pleasantville High School my freshman year, and they never had nothing like that, to like help the youth, young people.
Yeah, and
At high school.
it's important. I realized that the things that we're teaching and that we're bringing back were the things that we didn't have. So essentially, that's how everything is growing. It's like, what didn't we have that we needed, that we had to learn later on in life, and we're bringing that and putting it into programs and using our education and using our life skills to bring these resources and give them back, because there's no point in going out and learning and growing if we can't come back and teach anything.
Yeah, that's true.
gotta-
Jamie, would you like to talk about Humanity Bands?
Sure. So Humanity Bands was established by me and my sister. The concept is to promote kindness, and the way we created these bands, that inside each band is a unique serial number. So what you do is you wear the band, and when you're out and about and there's any way that you can help somebody in need, whether it's even just holding the door for someone, you'll take the band off, pass it to them, and then they'll in turn wear that band and hopefully return that kindness to someone else. But before you do that, you'll go on our website and you'll log in you'll just put your name and your email. You'll search the band number. You'll add it to your group, and once that band number is added to your group, you'll be able to track it. So when you pass it on to someone else,
That's pretty cool.
they'll be able to go on, do the same thing, search the band number. They can tell on their perspective, how they felt, what the kindness that you did for them, what an impact it made. So that way you can truly see, just a little bit of kindness, it goes a long way. And then in turn, they'll keep passing. You'll be able to track, where the band goes and see what an impact you're making. And then it's kind of like a reminder. I know we're all busy, so we're always like running around. And a lot of times I'll be like running, and I'll see somebody like, and I stop. I'm like, take those extra minutes to help somebody. It really makes a difference.
So when you pass the band to somebody else, you have to tell them to put the serial number in, right?
Well, no, because when they go, it has our website on there. So they'll go to the website, and it gives them, as soon as you log into the website, on the front page, it'll say, you received the band, now what? And it'll basically let you know the whole story and what to do. So they don't
That's
really
pretty
need
cool.
to
Yeah.
have any additional
So
information.
when you pass it along, though, you have to tell them to go on the website. I mean, how do they initiate to get to
Yeah, I mean, they can, and I kind of let them know, this Humanity Bands, we're promoting kindness, check out our site. and they'll
Right,
go
and so
on.
that's how
And
they
it's
go
up
on
to
it.
them. They don't have to leave a
Right,
story.
right.
If they choose to do that, then great, and then you get to kind of see and where it's going.
Yeah, so how do you get the bands? You're just passing them along when you're doing some kind deed, correct?
Right. Yeah, and you can get them off of our site as well. You can purchase them off the site.
I
and-
definitely want one.
Yeah. You can
Oh, we have some
purchase, we have like a 5-pack, 10-pack, and then we also offer like in bulk. If there are organizations that want to implement this, we'd ask that they reach out to us so that we can maybe set up a separate page for your organization. Even go as far as to give you a unique numbering so that you have kind of you're represented on the band in some way, maybe an emblem. Again, the company is new. We want it to do the most good in the most places. So we're not stringent on this is our idea, the idea at the end of the day is we're more kind to each other. So the one thing that I notice, the only time you really see an influx of humanity and kindness is in triumph and tragedy. And I think making it more of an everyday thing, hopefully one day you'll get this and nobody has to tell you why. or what
Right,
to
got
do.
it, got it. Mhm.
So in the beginning, we're gonna have to do a little bit more explaining, but eventually, it should just be commonplace, and that's the goal. Hopefully, one day we won't need a humanity band, but for now, we might need a reminder.
Spreading love.
That's amazing. Yeah.
Kindness.
Yeah,
Have you guys trying like to get them like in schools and stuff like that?
we're looking into it. It's not as easy because schools can't just all willy-nilly implement a new process such as this. It has to go through,
Yeah, there's a
school
lot
boards,
of
they
lot
have
of
to
channels.
vote on it.
Yeah.
There are, it has to be in the budget. So
Yeah.
even if we were to be able to promote this to a school this year, it would probably a year or two before they could work it into a budget for they could actually implement this as a process instead of, like we discussed, anti-bullying. We're pro-kindness. So it's really just a change of mindset. We both have children, and at the end of the day, school is great, and I want you to go there and do the best that you can, but my job is to make you a good person. So my kids are all excellent. I'm blessed that they are very hard workers, but every moment that I see them maybe step out of character, that is an immediate teaching moment. And they're aware of this, and they're aware that above everything else, you are kind. You are kind,
you-
you are loyal, you are honest.
Are you guys hooked up with National Kindness Day or National Kindness Week?
We're not hooked up.
We're not hooked up, but
Somewhat.
I did send my kids in with bands that week of school, so they did
Good.
come home.
So
and
are
they
you
like
familiar
lots
with
of things.
Therese? Because Therese runs that, so I can hook you guys up with her so that maybe you guys can get the word out a little more when they do. Because they're in Red Bank and they close off the street and they have a dance thing that you learn
I
online. And
did see the dance where everybody danced.
yeah, they do.
Dance that
Yeah,
day. I
yeah.
did-
So that's
yeah.
cool. So I can hook you up with Therese because maybe you guys can get involved with that because that would be right up the alley for your project. You know.
Yeah.
That would be great.
I mean, yeah, I send my kids into school with them because, and I teach my kids when we're out and about because another thing is with the cell phones, like a lot of people are on their phones nowadays, and I find that you're not really even aware of what's going on around you. So when I'm out with my kids, no cell phones. Like when we're out and about, no cell phones. Look around. Is there somebody you can help? Look what's going on. I think you need to be more aware. And so I think it's something that's needed. So with this site, it kind of, we're not getting rid of the technology. I mean, obviously people love social
Sure.
media, so we still have that aspect of social media so they can go on and tell their stories, but it's all positive. But they still get that face-to-face interaction with people. I mean, we can't lose that. Like I tell my kids all the time, like eventually, if you don't talk to people, what's to come? So
That is
Yeah,
the
sure.
one thing that we're truly only ever connected entirely through our humanity. There are so many different categories and labels, and everybody is something, but we're all human. At the end of the day, you can't categorize yourself out of that, so the idea is recognize the humanity before everything else. And on our page, we have a couple different about us, what our passion and movement is, but we also stress that it's your movement. This is whatever you are willing to do with this, whatever story you're willing to tell the world with this, it is your movement. We're just here to facilitate it. We want to be a part of it, and we want to be able to show you your impact. So really, humanity is a tool, but this is all people-based. This is a people product.
And they're not giving us any signal out there, but just make sure you're talking into the mic because they might not be hearing you online because
sorry.
you're not close enough to it. So just be aware of that. Point.
I knew he was pointing that.
Yes.
Pollock Seni.
Yes.
Sorry about your book.
Oh, well.
Beautiful book over there.
This book, yes, Posture, Simply Posture, Correct Simply. Well, it's a book that just came out in September. I started working on it in March, and so it took about 6 months. Basically, it's for everyone. It's a children's book, but it really identifies for everyone. It basically discusses that gravity is this force upon us, and it doesn't go away unless you're in space or underwater, and or in the water, and so it just gives a short description of how important it is to use our muscles to counter gravity's effects. And if we don't use our muscles, gravity's pushing down on us and we slouch. And then we kind of just,
Fall asleep. No.
yeah, we like melt in our chair. And then, then we're on our phone. And then what happens is that's okay as long as you know that it's time to sit back up. And to do that, every hour, every half hour, sitting, standing. There's different ways of making sure that you keep your posture. And then, of course, I've been a physical therapist for 33 years now, and everything in this book I've repeated over and over and over again. And so that's why I decided to put it into a book. And I do believe that about 50%, if I were to just add a number there, of the problems can be made better just by correcting your posture. All right? Getting to the root cause of somebody's pain, I immediately correct posture first, and then I see what's left. And it's easier to see where things might be coming from if I can correct somebody's posture and go, oh, wait, you can't even get to correct posture. I know what to work on. And so a lot of us, if we aren't used to using our abdominal muscles, that's key. That has to be used, the abdominal muscle. And it helps us because our spine is just constantly getting this effect of gravity.
What made you write this book?
Well, the fact that I was repeating myself over and over, and I still repeat myself, but that's the nature of what I do. And
Adjusting
I
myself.
wanted to, I wanted to the children, I wanted it to affect their life from the beginning. I didn't want them to wait until they were in their teens or 20s or up to 70 or older to come to a physical therapist and say, I have this aching pain and it's been with me for 20 years. And it's like, oh, well, did you ever correct? Well, no one ever showed me how. So I need to say, well, I'm going to show you how. And my goal is to get this book into the school systems. And I want to affect everybody, children and on up. And I'll start by going to board meetings and talking to the proper people there. And then eventually, I would love to have a posture day. Like
Make it national.
National Posture Awareness Day.
Well, we're working on it. We have a bill in the Senate office for something that I'm working on. So you can, it's easy to start the process.
I'll ask
But
you about it.
getting it to the next step is the hard part. But starting is a good place.
Well, that is always, that's it. I have an awareness that I want to get all the children and all the people in the world aware of how to correct their posture and the importance of working against gravity. So my intention is to get everyone to at least be aware and using their muscles. And so my action is, I wrote the book, I'm going to do book signings, I'll speak on the radio, I'll talk to, various people along the way, officials in the school system, and try to get it to happen. And that's my goal.
Cool.
Yeah.
Dan?
You want me to talk about Matt's HeartQuest?
You can talk about that too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, Diane Mativier with Matthew Mativier, and Matt's HeartQuest was born from my practice of 20 years of being a financial advisor. So working with money, I see the value of how that can impact and empower somebody or disempower them if they don't feel comfortable or confident or educated or knowledgeable enough in that arena to be able to have conversations, ask questions, and feel confident about their actions that they're taking. So because of my day job, if you will, after having Matthew at 44 years old for my first child, which is important because after that I started writing poetry, got involved in some books that were Amazon bestsellers that I co-authored. My question was, what can I do with these blessings that I started to have and create that could impact on a larger scale? And out of my love for Matthew, I wanted to teach him how to pay it forward and the value and the power that one person can provide. No matter how young you are. It started when he was age 6. It's all kind of started several years ago. He's going to be 12 next week. And really the mission is to spread the word, empower children, women, their families, because they're typically the underserved, underheard area, in this regard. And to donate $1 million in Matthew's name to various causes, charities, institutions, whatever it is that places that Matthew would like to have an impact. So I am the conduit, but it's about giving him the empowerment on what, a legacy of love is going to bring. So the idea is that we work on this, and then as Matthew gets older and has his own family, he teaches it to his children and so on and so forth, and have it become, it's basically a legacy of love. So Matthew is our focus and our spokesperson on this. So I want to give him a chance to share what it means to him.
Mostly Matt's HeartQuest to me is that the money that gets like donated to us, we donate it to other places that need help, like some parts of like the world that like it's hard for like kids to get to school and stuff, get more safer ways to get there, and like enough money to like build some ways to get past all this. You know what I mean? Because
that's one area, and also things like I'll tell you a couple examples of what we've used so far, and we're not really officially launched or really taking traction. We're really excited about the prospect of 2020 because this is our go year, But what we've done is we had a couple of book launches as a result of the books that I had co-authored. So with the proceeds or part of the proceeds, we did a couple things. He bought summer readers for all of the kids in both second grade classes. We donated the money. So all the kids got a book for the summer, which obviously that's spreading the wealth right there because we're fostering, literacy, financial literacy, and also everything is empowering and inspiring. So everything is uplifting. And I think that is also an important piece to this. So we did that. We took a bunch of long stem roses to my mother's senior living place on Valentine's Day through the proceeds, and Matthew went around to each of the ladies and handed them a single rose and gave him some love. And of course, you can imagine how that went over. It was like gushing everywhere. He was like an adopted grandchild for like 500 people. So it was just really feels good. We're doing the things that make us feel good. So he's a big fan of animals. He loves animals. So, part of our thing might be to buy supplies to donate to an animal shelter, these are little pieces, but I think each of those things pays it forward in an act of kindness and generosity and just a selfless act that I think is really important to teach a child. And so our goal also is to, with the books, poems, I have some educational materials, is also to get in the school system. I'd love to see the poems be an alternative to the buying the popcorn and buying the junk food and having something that has some kind of inspirational value, uplifting messages that can be used for fundraising for the schools, that you can, Mother's Day, give mom an empowering poem, something that has a little bit more value and, to me, in my perspective. So I see that. I see putting the programs that I've done, my workshop for ABC, the Financial Fulfillment, which is to empower and educate people in the school system, in the colleges. Like you said, everybody I think here has a similar vision, is to equip our children and our youth with the tools to leave school far better than we ever did by being taught these non-academic items that I think are more important than the academia, because reading, writing, arithmetic, which is great, and we need that, but you all know we learn most of what we learn when we get out in the real world. And if we don't have these coping skills, these social skills, these giving skills, these kindness, our health, and all those things are going to have a huge impact on our lives moving forward, not only individually, but as a people, as our whole world. So I think that I'm really proud to be here with you guys, because I'm just in awe of the people who are here right now. I'm just like learning and loving, and I think that we can have a lot to offer each other. So
That's my main
thank you.
purpose on the show is like for the young people to see, That's everything we do, and just motivate them to do something. It's you can do what you love to do. Like for example, I love to help people. Nobody knows I spend my Mondays and Wednesdays at a food bank.
Yeah, he
volunteering.
works at the pantry every Monday and Wednesday.
Every Mondays and Wednesdays. Nobody knows that, but I just love giving back, helping people. And I'm
You
the
just
only
told
one-
us.
I said
We
the
know
word.
Yeah,
now.
now we know.
I'm the only young one there too, so like I get to help them with heavy boxes, heavy food, stuff like that. So it's nice for them to have me there,
I just want to touch on the question you had. So our bill is an all causes day bill. My mother died in February from an aggressive brain tumor. We lost her in 3.5 weeks. And so I started a foundation that feeds into the National Brain Tumor Society, but I also went to the local congressman at the time, and our bill is SJR, State Joint Resolution 55, which is All Causes Day. And we had to change the title a little bit for various reasons, but it gives a voice to like a new thing that you guys are doing and what you guys are doing with Matt. So on May 20th every year, we would have something with different charities so that the smaller charities have a voice. So that's one of the things we're working on. And because of, elections and things going on, the bill just kept getting shoved and shoved and shoved. So it's there. It's been voted on by half the Senate. But now I think in 2020, it's time to get this bill realized. So maybe on one of my shows, we'll talk about it more and get it, get people out there involved in making that
That's
bill
amazing.
become reality.
That's
So
such a great
it just
idea.
ties in with everything we're doing today. So thank you for bringing it up. Just had to wrap my head around what it was called.
All Causes Day.
Yes.
And it's
SJR 55. I think they changed the number, but it's a little more research I have to do, but it's in there.
Okay, thanks.
Nate, would you like to talk about your book?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Oh, you have it, the copy of it. Yeah. So
We can show it.
Yeah.
Here, we'll show it.
yeah. So the book is called "Building Muscle: Life is Your Trainer," and within this book, it's an account of the 10 years of my life from my high school graduation at 18 back in 2008, through a 10-year span of me going to 5 different colleges, suffering from mental health issues, being evicted, just a whole bunch of different things. And it wasn't a story of more so like I want pity or I want you guys to feel sorry for me, but it was more so the lessons that I took from life. For me, I learned a lot more from adversity than I ever learned sitting behind a desk listening to a lecture. So And I believe that's how most of us learn, if we're being honest. Going through school, I can only remember so many different principles and points. But throughout life, I have so much that I can pull from it that I actually obtained because it was my emotions were attached to the things that I was learning in real life outside of me just sitting in a classroom and being taught a curriculum. So throughout this book, I talk about different things, starting from the passing of my grandfather, who I call my pop-pop, and who's my best friend. So little backstory on me. I'm first generation high school graduate, first generation college graduate.
Nice.
First one to get a scholarship to go to college and things like that. But at the time when I graduated high school, prepping in to go to college, my grandfather was going to actually drive me down to Memphis, Tennessee. I had a full ride scholarship to play basketball to go down there. He was going to drive me down there. He ended up passing away 2 weeks before he was going to drive me down to Memphis, Tennessee from gangrene, which is a bacterial infection disease where it was nothing they can actually do to actually stop it. So he passed away, and it was like that. One day we were together, a few days later we weren't. And for me, I grew up in a neighborhood where, we were around gangs, we were around violence, we were in poverty, so it was one of those things where you had to have this tough exterior, and I never had a place to be vulnerable or talk about my feelings, emotions, and let things out. So when it came to that time when he passed away, I didn't know how to eternalize it, and I didn't know how to release those feelings of emotions. So I went to school with these emotions and this burden on me, and I left after the first semester. So after the first semester, I came home, worked a little bit, got another full ride scholarship, which is crazy. So I got 2 of them. And then I went back to school for about a year, and I left again, just battling my own mental health issues, my own deep depression issues, severe anxiety. And this persisted through 5 different colleges of me just going to different places, trying to find a home, trying to really figure things out. And throughout that time, I lost best friends. I had a friend kill himself. I had other friends get locked up. It was just a lot going on through all of these different things. But it was also, it was school for me, essentially. I was learning so much throughout these different trials because I didn't necessarily stop. I may have slowed down from time to time, but I never quit on what it was that I was trying to do, which is serve other people. And I was ultimately trying to do that through the vehicle of basketball at first, not realizing that basketball was just to get me in position so that I can do what I'm doing now. So throughout all those different things, I got out of the vehicle of just basketball after an injury, and then also a letdown from an overseas basketball tryout where an agent tried to essentially scam me out of money, and it crushed my dreams. Then I got injured, so I had to get out of that vehicle of basketball, and now I'm in this vehicle of motivation, inspiration, using my talents of being an author, my talents of speaking, my talents of I'm not gonna say talent, but my mentorship skills and things like that, my connection to the youth, because the story that I have and the things that I've seen is so relatable to the life that they currently live. So I'm using these things now. And then before I became a personal trainer, I had a friend taking me to the gym who's in the Air Force now, a good friend of mine named Tony. He started taking me to the gym, and he started to surround me around these other gentlemen who were very open and vulnerable to me. And it was the first time I ever seen it. It was like my mind was blown, like, oh my gosh, like I never had this growing up. And it made me feel okay to be vulnerable and open up. So throughout there, training in the gym, 6-7 days a week with these guys, and then having these conversations every day in the locker room, I realized that everything that I was learning within that moment and everything that I had been through was there to serve me. And then it started to pour over into my life outside the gym. And that's when I realized I was onto something. And, I had the story out, I wrote the book, and I put it out, and I realized that all of those trials and tribulations, it was just a test, and it was a test to see if I was ready to share my testimony.
Well, they're all stepping stones to where you are.
Oh yeah,
now.
absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. They're all stepping stones. And I have this quote on my phone that I keep on here, and I've had it for quite some years now since I've got my associate's degree from Atlantic Cape Community College before I went to Rowan University. And it says, "Don't give up on your dreams because someone's waiting on what you're building." And it takes me back to like, man, what if I would have quit? I put the book out, and then I had certain individuals reach out to me, people that were thinking about committing suicide, people that were homeless, just telling me how much my testimony blessed them. And, you know, how they're changing their life. And then I'm checking in with them and I'm seeing their progress. And I think about the people that poured into me throughout that 10-year period. And it's like, man, what if they would have stopped on, you know, whatever they were doing? I wouldn't have got blessed how, you know, they blessed me. So for me, I'm always thinking about the other person. Like, I can't allow trials to slow me down because they're going to come anyway. They come for everybody, just in different ways. And if I can continue to progress forward, you know, it's only going to be dark for so long, you know, before the sun comes out again. And then also someone's attached to me and they need me to do whatever it is that I'm doing so they can ultimately be blessed. So for me, it was a perspective shift, and it's been amazing ever since. I went from being, you know, an introvert to not wanting to talk to telling people, you know, my story, which wasn't glamorous, and it was a lot of hurt in it, but I find joy, you know, within that hurt now, understanding that it's blessing someone else. So
Yeah, because somebody else might be in the exact same position you were in.
yeah, exact same, or maybe worse, or maybe not as bad, but if you can relate to it and you feel as though like, man, this guy can go ahead and share his story and be vulnerable and be open and still smile about it and learn from it. Oh man, I can push through whatever it is that I'm going through. So for me, it just serves as an inspiration, and that's just a tool for everything else that we're preparing for.
There's a story called 3 Feet from Gold. I don't know if any of you guys as
I've heard of
authors
it.
have heard of 3 Feet from Gold. That it's like you not to give up. That you could be at that 2 feet, and gold could be right in your next move. And
Absolutely.
you give up, and it was right there for the taking. So it's a cool story. You could look
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, Nate, do you have any words you would like to say to any youth that's listening online right now?
I got so much to say. No, I'm joking. It's something that actually me and my partner were talking about the other night. We were working on some things for the college students. We're working in a lot of colleges and universities right now with workshops and clinics and things like that. And it was revolving around like failure, because I had this negative connotation with failure before I came to the realization that it was serving me. And I realized that you only truly fail if you quit at something. That's the surefire way to fail. Like, you're going to fail for sure if you quit.
That's right.
But if you never quit at nothing, you know, if you never quit at what you're going for, ultimately you're going to make progress because you're going to constantly learn. So for me, I went to 5 different colleges. You know, I went to 9 different elementary schools growing up. Like, all these things were happening in my life, and I was trying to pursue different things, and I was failing. But then I started to learn from everything, and I learned because emotionally I was attached to the things that I was failing. So for me, failure only happens when you completely stop and give up. But if you never quit, you never fail. You just continue to learn and grow. And ultimately, that's going to serve you in the long run. You just have to look at it from a different perspective, a different lens. And you can't look at it from a negative way where, I keep failing. I keep dropping the ball. I don't understand it. It's like, okay, I dropped the ball there. That lets me know not to do it again in this way. Let me find another way. Let me find another door, another avenue. So for me, it's like when failure comes, I know I'm getting closer to, you know, what I'm seeking. So I look forward to it sometimes, where it's like, it stings a little bit still, you know, that's our pride and everything. It stings, but ultimately I can sit back with maturity and realize that I'm learning something in this lesson. Like, God's teaching me something in this place that I'm in for the next step, because I don't want to try to skip all of the failures and all of the lessons and all of the roadblocks, because I may not be ready for the blessing that's on the other end. Mm-hmm. You know, I'm not ready for whatever it is he has for me. But if I go through these certain things and I learn through these trials and tribulations, I'll be more than ready when it's time for, you know, things to really blow up. So
They say fail your way forward, right? Fail forward.
absolutely.
And Jamie, would you like to say any words to any young person that's watching right now?
I just want to say, I mean, just to kids, you know, just, I don't know, you want to say something?
Yeah, aside from Humanity Vans, I think a message given the theme of this show is you are the only one this world has of your kind. And your days are finite, so make them count. Find something to serve that's bigger than yourself. That's where your peace is.
I like that.
What's your name again? I forgot your name.
He just can't say it, that's all.
Katsaros.
But people call you Zini, right?
But they actually call me Kseni.
Seni.
Yes, yes, yes.
That's close.
So it's the last 4 letters of the first name.
So if you can't say her name,
So
you can
it's
call her Seni.
Kseni or-
Hard.
yeah.
Would you like to say any words to any young person that's watching?
Oh, I want to say that you only have one body, and we should definitely do our best to take care of our body, and that goes for your mind as well. So your body, your mind, and your soul, you want to take care of it, and knowing that gravity is a force that's always around us and that really does give us a challenge. We're not even aware of it at the times, but we need to definitely sit up, straighten up, and
Fly right.
correct your posture.
I feel like I sit up every time she talks. It's like,
Sit up, fly right.
If I can, I have 2 messages. One with my financial practice, which is be aware of how you use your money and why. And I know when my parents, when I was young, there was a great value to not having that immediate gratification to purchase something. And if you have to save for something for a while to get a large item, oftentimes you may find that when the time comes that you have it, you might have changed your mind by then and you want something else instead. So it's just something to be aware of your spending and aware of how money works. I think is a very important tool to have. On the Matt's HeartQuest piece, I would say that you can make a difference far greater than you can imagine by being grateful for the things that you have. And I'm sure there's a ton of things that you can be grateful for, no matter what your situation is. And if you can take a moment every day to find one thing to be thankful for, you'll find that that will become easier and easier and it'll grow. And with that, you will have a shift of perspective and you will be more fulfilled by helping other people and giving to other people, and whether it be of your time, of a smile, or whatever it is. And I think that that's something that's life-changing. And I'm hoping that that's what Matt's HeartQuest will be, which will be a well-known name internationally, impacting millions and millions of people, and just showing them that this is when he was 6 years old. It started. It's already started, and he's 12, and we're going to really get it going now. So you can make a difference, and just believe in yourself, because we believe in you.
How do we get in touch with Matt HeartQuest?
Thank you.
You can say that now. Any social media or anything you got?
On Facebook.
On Facebook and at Matt's HeartQuest on Facebook, and Diane Mativier to reach her, and
That's good.
do you want to say anything about Matt's HeartQuest, or do you want to say a message to any of the kids that are watching?
one thing is that if there's anything that you don't need anymore, that you don't use at all, pass it on to somebody who needs it more than you.
Oh, that's great.
That's great. Yes.
Thank you, Matt.
That's great.
Would you like to say something
Sure.
and give out your social media and all your stuff?
Sure. Well, if you want me to say something to anybody watching, I would say there's a great phrase out there: find something you love to do and you will never work a day in your life. So if you have passion for something, follow that dream and don't let anyone or anything stop you. Because like you said, it's finite. Our life is finite. We all have the same 24 hours. So make them count and follow what your heart is passionate about. And that road is not always easy. I know people will be sitting out there, yeah, my mother won't let me, or my friend doesn't want me to do this, or they won't like me if I do this, or whatever. You got to get past that and develop that thick skin that you learn only by doing. And, keep going. Just keep going forward. It doesn't matter what anybody else thinks. I tell Marco that all the time. It doesn't matter what they think. It only matters what you think and what you feel and what you're passionate about. So, and my social media is 4astar.com, the number 4astar.com. There you can find all the links to Ava's Eye Bags, to our dance-a-thon, to all the things that we're doing to bring positivity out there as well.
Nate, would you like to give your social media out too?
Yeah, absolutely. On all handles, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, I believe YouTube as well, LinkedIn. It's going to be Nate Evans Jr. and my website's the same as www.nateevansjr.com. We kept it pretty simple.
Good.
Your social media as well too.
We're Humanity Bands on Facebook and Instagram, and then we have our own page, which is humanitybands.com.
What's your name again?
Polixeni.
Polixeni. Can you give out your social media out too, where people can contact
So
I
you?
love it.
Polixeni Katsaros on Facebook or on Messenger. Polixeni is Polixeni, and Katsaros, Katsaros, and that's where you could find me, Facebook Messenger. And if you want the book, you can go to Amazon and type in my name, and the book comes
What's
up.
the price so they can know?
The hardcover is $25. That's with shipping included and all that, and soft cover is $15.
That's nice. And I'll give out my social media too. I am on Facebook and Instagram. I'm on Facebook as Mr. Panting, and on Instagram as YoungBusinessman_1. And I would like to thank everyone for coming to my show.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you
so
for
much.
having us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Ruben. They're talking.
Are they talking? You want to go out, Matt, and tell them we're closing up?
I just have
What-
3 questions. Just
Okay.
one for you two. Like, how do you track the bands though?
So when you go online, your mom will help you. You can have a family account. You just set up one account everybody can use. You'll go in and just similar to Facebook, you can join a group. So you'll go in, search your band number right in the search bar, and then you'll just click join group. And then in your menu, you'll have a menu item that says band groups. When you click in there, you'll just get a whole list of all the bands you have, and you can click into them and read all the stories. You can get notifications when people post things in there.
That's really cool. I love that. I think Marco went out to get
Yeah.
them on board with shutting us down for this episode. But we just want to thank Hamilton Radio. You can find the show at hamiltonradio.net or on any of the Facebook pages. Marco will be sharing
Awesome,
his page later, and we can watch this back later. So.
Oh, you